Hey all, it's Juanita with May's message. And we are going into May with a lot of excitement. In April, we were playing tax dodgeball in Harlem in front of the state office building, calling attention to Assemblywoman Inez Dickens, who has not signed on to the state legislation protecting tenants from unlawful evictions called Good Cause. And so we were out there as a side of Harlem tenants, and then there was real estate because she's been dodging tenants that need these protections and has been standing on the side with real estate. And we said that's not okay. So we're going to keep telling her to support Harlem tenants and other legislators that haven't signed on to this bill by going up to Albany later on this month. So you're going to have more information about that in the coming weeks if you're interested in going up to Albany with us to fight for this very important piece of legislation. And then, we had our first Follow Black Woman town hall calling attention around valuing the health of Black women. And, we've been talking about this survey that we were doing for a while. The results are finally in, and we're having voter education town halls based off of the top issues that came up. So our first one was around healthcare, and it was a spirited conversation with organizers and healthcare experts that were just talking about the importance of centering the experiences and the voices of Black women when it comes to healthcare. And we talked about the importance of having legislation that centered those voices by actively listening to those voices and taking those seriously. So we were in good company to start some good trouble on that day. And our second town hall is coming up on May 17th, where we're going to be talking about housing, which is one of the biggest issues that came up during the survey. And so we're going to have an amazing panel that's going to be talking about the impacts of housing on Black women in particular, and how do we need to, again, center our voices and having us be a part of the legislation to make those changes. So again, you're going to hear more information about that in the coming weeks, of how to sign up and get even more involved in that conversation. And, thinking more about what May is. I don't know how many of you listen to the Black History Boot Camp that's done by Girl Trek. So if you don't, it's on Spotify. I highly recommend it. They do monthly boot camps where you're not only getting important information about Black history, you are also being healthy because it's encouraging all of us to go and walk, and not even to walk by ourselves, but walk in teams, right? And this month's iteration of boot camp was about crews. And, I was listening to it, and they just talked about all of these different crews throughout history. So they talked about Ella Baker and Fannie Lou Hamer, Toni Morrison and Angela Davis, Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver. They even talked about Bad Boy, right? And Fela Kuti and the sound of Afrobeat, and all of these amazing crews through history. And the one thing that rang through with all of those relationships is that those were people that could turn to each other when things were exciting, when things were bad, when needed to work out a particular issue, needed a thought partner, anything that the other person needed, there was another person or a group of people together to help to do something together as a team, as a crew. And that really struck a chord with me because I totally can resonate with that. I definitely have my crews in my professional life and in my personal life that I can turn to laugh, to cry, to strategize, and just feel like a whole person. And, May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. And it just signifies the importance of having people to talk to in your corner that support you and understand you. And so, as I think about this message and what May is looking like for us, it's really about the importance of having crews, because Community Voices Heard couldn't do the work that we do if we didn't have crews of members, crews of staff, crews of funders, crews of people who were really in our corner that wanted us to succeed and achieve and do all of this amazing work. in order to transform the lives of those that are living in New York State. And I know I couldn't be Juanita without my crew of people that are always encouraging me, that are making me laugh, that are calling me on my stuff when I need to be called on it, and being there when it's necessary. So I want all of you to think about who's your crew? Who are those people you can turn to? And, Community Voices Heard is part of your crew. So we would love to keep building up our crews and doing that amazing work, and inviting those of you who aren't members of Community Voices Heard to become a member. And so, you can be a part of our amazing crew and cause some good trouble with us. And, we can only do as much as we can do with our crews. So happy May, everyone. Be healthy, be well, and enjoy this lovely weather.